Hark now, hear the Tottenham sing,
sing.
the Arsenal
The
run
Arsenal
away.
run.
Hello,
Good
ladies
intro,
and
that, Lee.
hello to all you youths out there. This is a Heart Now Here Spurs fans podcast live across every platform possible. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook for all you youths around the world, and we are under 48 hours away. The weekend has begun, people, and we are here in a new format to talk about the North London derby. It's myself, Lee Tarrier, Matty, Kev. How you doing, boys? This is all new. It's all new and fancy. It's too much tech for me.
All good, Lee, man. Looking forward to this weekend, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, big love to you all. Tom O'Leary, oi, in there early. Listen, if you want to get involved, if you want to ask us questions, if you want to leave messages about what's going on, how you feel about the North London derby, please throw them into whatever you're watching us on, and we'll get up your best messages and we'll start to respond, whether it's questions, whether it's thoughts, whether it's analysis, whether it's a laugh, whatever you want to do, we're about to talk about it. And lads, yeah, it's here. You know, the international break out the way, thank God for that. And couldn't ask for a better game to come back to the Prem, albeit Sunday. We've got to wait one more full day. But Kev, you excited about it, mate?
Yeah, mate. You ain't a proper Spurs fan if you're not excited about this weekend, whether we're playing at home or away. But being at home first, which is quite a rarity. Yeah, and after the national break of missing a week, even more keen to get back down there and see the boys and get on the sauce early doors and hopefully drink for 3 points.
Mate, that's the thing. Let's hope. Is it going to be a big drink for you?
Yeah, mate. Listen, it always is. Everyone who knows me knows it's always a big drink down there. Whether we're playing Arsenal or we're playing fucking Macclesfield in the Cup, it's always a good drink. It's a solidarity thing of seeing the boys, especially after a week off or if you played away. But the first game back after the break being Arsenal just makes it extra special, you know. So, yeah, we'll be out early doors, mate, 10, 11 o'clock, straight in the boozer. Yeah, hopefully it's a good day. It's always, with Spurs, it's always the best bit is the pre-match. Obviously, meeting up everyone and having a good beer. It's normally the game and after the game is where your mood starts to fucking die a bit. But yeah, they're really excited, mate. Just can't wait. We could have them at a good time here. So yeah, let's hope it's 3 points.
Well,
Kev,
I mean,
Lee,
go on,
Kev,
go on, Matty.
what you done to be getting at 10, 11 o'clock, mate? What's going on there? What's happening there?
Been getting a couple of TJ's permission slips, I think, and slipping them under the door, getting out early. I tell you what, I promised the missus a beef eater breakfast over in Ware. So
what time's that then?
Get me out early and down the station.
What time's a beef eater breakfast?
Yeah, you can't beat a beef eater breakfast for a Spurs day, mate. All you can eat. £10 an adult. Perfect. Kids eat for free, so it's a good way to line the stomach for fucking 25 pints.
But I mean, that's the thing. What's the first pub in the area? You're going to travel across pubs? You're going to stay in one? What are you doing?
I've been meaning to go down to Bill Nick and see the boys in there. Obviously, they hosted us last year, which was really nice, and probably haven't gone down as much as I should. So I've made it a must to go get off straight at Northumberland Park and be in the Bill Nick for about 11 o'clock. So probably staying there until kick-off, actually. And then if it's a good result, then I might be back in there or be somewhere else. But definitely for me, Bill Nick to start.
Oh, lovely. And Matty, Sunday, what's your plans? What time are you down there? How's it all playing out?
I don't know how Kev's wormed his way out of this one because he's a grassroots coach as well, and I don't know how he's got away with this one. Like,
Matt, how do you think I've got out of it?
Your assistant's taking it or what?
No. I've slapped that free weekend already, mate.
First game of the season, second game of the season, he's requested a week off.
Straight in, mate. Yeah, they must have known what was going on. But
I've got football in the morning. And then I'll be down there. I'm going to say about 11:30, 12.
Right.
But mate, I can't wait, man. I'm buzzing for it. North London derby is always a good day, you know. Like, it's always a good day, and well, before kick-off anyway. Let's see what happens after kick-off, but I feel confident.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those weeks, it's one of those games this year where it's one of those weird ones where being at home, you always want to fancy yourself. That's exactly where we want to be, and we've got to fancy ourselves. We've got a good team. We've got players back. Solanke and Van der Ven have been past fit today, and Shadow, they're available. So you're hoping they should be fit. I'm sure they are. A little bit of a break from over the international break. But you're going into it knowing that they've got a midfield down in Declan Rice, who got the ban from the Brighton game, and then Odegaard, who got injured on international duty. So it's one of those things where all of a sudden, as you know, I'm sure people that are listening and you guys, any Arsenal fans, you know, that you work with, and start to like try to play the reverse psychology, try to put the favourite tag on us too much, almost downplay their own chances, which is a bit weird because, you know, all I ever heard from them before the ball was kicked this season was that they were going to win the league. But Kev, how do you feel about that? Like with this game, with the way it's setting up, with the players that we've got against the players they haven't got, does that make us more favourites? Does it make it more of a chance that we should win? Or is it any different to if they had their best 11 against our best 11?
I think I'd always fancy us with the home advantage. I always do, no matter if they're at full strength or not. I mean, I'm going back years as well when we had a bit of a shit side. I always fancied us getting something against them at home, and sometimes we did get the freak win out when we had a really poor side. So sometimes that home advantage and the crowd gives you that extra bit. So you know, I'm always undecided, but at home I've always got to give us the edge, no matter what players they got in or out, and what players we've got in or out. But yeah, like you said, with two midfielders missing, two key midfielders, I think you've got to fancy us even more now. And that's the problem with us. We get excited when we hear things like that, but we have to brace ourselves because sometimes with Spurs, it don't always happen like that. It's sometimes, well, me personally, I fancy us too much sometimes, and then wonder why I get the fucking ump at the end of it when we've lost or drew. So I'm trying to stay grounded with it, but the way it's sort of planning out at the moment with the two injuries, I mean, they're two big players for them. So, yeah, I don't think you can't go in confident as a Spurs fan for this one. So, you know, but like you said, it's a derby. It's all going to be down to who wants it more in the day, regardless of what players are playing. So, but if I'm a betting man, which I am, I'll be sticking some money on Spurs, I think, to win.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm confident about it. I was confident about it before their injuries. It hasn't made me much more confident. I just feel that we can exploit that. We're an open team as well, so it's going to be end to end. Tottenham Arsenal games are like that all the way. But Matt, when you looked at when Odegaard got injured on Monday, did you say, "I reckon this is us"?
I said, "Thank fuck for that." I'm joking. I don't wish any player injured, but mate, it helps swings it in our favour a bit, you know. Like, to be fair, look, I think last season, especially at White Lane and the season before at White Lane, he's turned up and he's got in them pockets and just pulled strings, and we've struggled to deal with him, you know. So I think him missing and Declan Rice, it'd be, if they put Partey and Jorginho in midfield, I think the legs we have in midfield, we could pull them apart. I do think Arsenal are going to just try and sit and counter us. And I think like we are kind of open to that. But Van der Ven, past fit, is massive in the way we're going to play.
Yeah, it is massively. But I guess they've got this added element now of Raheem Sterling. Now, we don't know if he's going to start. We don't know if I'm sure he's going to have some involvement in the game at some point, whether he starts or comes off the bench. But they are full of pace. We've got Van der Ven, who is a get out of jail card when it comes to pace and a high line. But how dangerous is their attacking pace against our high line, Kev? And is that really something that we've got to be very careful about? Because we are going to be left open. As much as I think we're going to attack, they are going to be able to come at us with pace.
Yeah, I think with this Arsenal side, I think it reminds you of the Arsenal side of many years ago when, you know, when they get on a break and they all come forward, they're dangerous. And they are that at the moment. You know, when you're going back to your Omri days and stuff like that, they do look really, really good going forward. So I think this is what's going to make it a bit more of a goal fest. I think, obviously, the way we play and the way they play. I'm a bit different to Matt. I don't think they are going to sit. I think they're going to come at us and try and play us. With us going forward and with the crowd behind us, you know, we've just got to be a bit savvy, I think, in certain moments of the game and not go too gung-ho because, I mean, this is a team that will split the ball any other transition and probably hurt you. But, yeah, with Mickey Van der Ven in there, I think it's massive to have that pace. If they do try and counter, you've got him. I don't really see them troubling us too much if we stay compact. I think it'd be down to us taking our chances. We know that the last few games, bar Everton, we haven't been clinical enough in front of goal. And against these big sides, you're going to need to be clinical because you might not get as many chances as you would against other teams in the league. So when you're playing Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and West Ham in games, big games for us, it's about taking your chances. And if you don't, you could be hurt the other end. So for me, it's down to clinical chances. But yeah, we can't sleep on them. We know what they're like. I mean, I'm not going to come on here and fucking praise them and kiss their ass too much. But listen, they're a good side at the moment. You know, they're in the top 2 best teams in the league at the moment as well for me. So it is all going to be about balls, bollocks, how much you want it. Maybe the coach being a bit savvy in certain moments of the game, depending on scoreline. But, you know, it's I'm expecting goals. And I'm expecting incidents. I'm expecting penalties. I'm expecting red cards. I'm expecting a lot, which makes a North London derby a North London derby. But for the neutral, I bet it's great. But for us, fucking hell, it's heart and mouth stuff all the time, I suppose. But
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it, boys. Really looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be great. And look, let us know, people, wherever you are. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Get your messages in. Tell us what you think, how you think it's going to play out, because we're really looking forward to hearing from all you and any message that you may have. I think when I think about it, key players, who are those key players? Who is going to make something happen? Is it your Sons? Is it your Kulusevskis? Is it your Solankes? There's different areas, right? Exposing that middle of the park, the legs, like you say, Matt, who are the 1 or 2 key players that you think are going to unlock this and make sure that we really are assertive and on the front foot with scoreline and with play?
Quite critical with him since he's come back from injury, but I honestly think James Maddison, listening to his interview the other day, I think James Maddison's going to turn up this weekend. You know, I think he feels fired up from it. I also think Pedro Porro could be vital this week, you know, like because he could have Sterling or Martinelli, so he's got to kind of hold his position a bit. But I think on the ball and attacking, and I do think he'll have his. It's if Pedro, because he's got a great shot, yeah. Pedro has got an unbelievable shot, and I'd like him to test the keeper from distance sometimes. Not always keep coming in, but pretend to cross, but then cut it back. But now we've got Solanke in. Can we whip the cross in, you know? Look,
Yeah.
I think it's... I honestly believe we start that game 110 miles per hour and we go 1-0 up in the first 10 minutes, get that stadium behind us, and then it'll be hard for Arsenal to get back into that game. We have to go 1-0 up, I feel.
Yeah, it's really key. And big love to everybody in the chats. Jules Lads, who says, evening, fellas. Tommy123, go on the boys. We are definitely looking to do that. Brat and Andrew says, we'll be the same old. They will let us have the ball and hit us on the counter and beat us because we aren't clinical and they are. That's the spirit, Brat and Andrew. That's what we need. TDP, Solanke is going to want to prove himself. VDV, Passion and Johnson whipping them in. We'll nick this. And TDP also agrees with you, mate. He says Porro is going to wipe the floor with him. Porro is like the person, the defender that people are putting on their fantasy Premier League. So I think he's going to play a big part. Dolphin Badminton Club here. Dogi versus Saka is the big one for me this weekend now that they are missing Odegaard. Now, yeah, look, Saka, love him, hate him. Most of the time we do, unless he's wearing an England shirt. But I guess in that, he's a quality player. We saw that in both games last season. He got a goal. Did he get the 2 goals in the 2-2 at the Emirates? Did he get both? No, he did, didn't he? He scored the first one and he got the penalty. He scored 2 when it was a 2-2 draw, and then he scored again when they beat us 3-2 at the Lane in April. He's going to be
different
key.
Battle, though, Lee, innit? Different battle. Last year he was up against Ben Davis.
No, well,
at White
Lane,
he was up against Ben Davis.
What's key for us is that Dogi doesn't get that early yellow because he got it at the Emirates, and thankfully,
do you know what, Lee?
He
managed that yellow card fucking brilliantly in that game. Like, I mean,
amazingly.
For me, that was a dead cert. He was going off at that point, and his thing is with Dogi, he's a great player, right? But he's very young, and he's still got a little bit of naivety about his play, bit of overplaying and stuff like that. But I agree there. I think that battle is going to be the battle of the game. I think down that side, and You know, if Saka stays on his fucking feet and don't dive around the place and cheat, then we might be all right. But although he's definitely going to have his wits about him, because on his day, Saka, he's fucking dangerous. But I wouldn't have any other left back up against him than Udogie. I think it's a great match, and it's a one defender, I think, for us that can fucking stop Saka playing.
Do you remember Lee? Do you remember the Emirates last year? It was Brennan Johnson's, I think, first game, and he played on the left wing. And you didn't see Brennan Johnson come back hardly, and he trusted Udogie to have Saka a one-on-one all game. Like the confidence and the belief he had in Udogie there, just like, no, you're going to mark Saka on a 1v1. I know he scored the penalty and stuff like that, but I thought Udogie managed Saka well that game. I thought Saka overall in that game had a quiet game.
Yeah, he did. He was superb. And that was the thing, because we thought, here's a red card coming. We're going to be 10 men before half time. But he did so well. Tomorrow is a massive, Sunday is a massive test for him. I believe he can do it. We talk about Solanke, and people are talking about Solanke here. Do you put him in? Do you both put him in straight away? You know, considering he's not played for 4 weeks?
100%.
60 million down the drain. Dom Solanke scores again. Go on, Kev. You've been a couple of away games this year.
What, mate? I heard that song at Leicester, mate, and fuck me, that I've caught on well. I actually like it. It's a good song.
Yeah. So
you can't say too much. I get banned on it. No, me personally, Dom Solanke 100% starts. 100% starts.
I think it's sort of written in the stars for him to score his first goal against Arsenal as well. I think what a way to get us sort of over with scoring against Arsenal at White Lane. I think it would be a great moment for him, and I don't think they'll be able to handle if they want to play out from the back. Listen, they've got a good keeper that likes can play with his feet, right? But if he gets caught out with the press, I think Solanke's in all the time. But I reckon Solanke will be absolutely fucking pumped for that Sunday, and no reason why you can't play him.
Home debut, he's going to be right up for that.
He is. What a game to be a home debut in. Obviously, he's been injured the last couple of weeks. We talk about our pressing. A major factor of him joining us, and the reason Ange likes him so much, is that he's like tenacious on the press from the get-go. I think we're going to need to do that against this team historically, and although they are the best defense in the league, they've struggled a little bit when they've been pressed intently. So how key do you think it is that we press them high? Do you think it's a risk, or would you do it?
Do you want to go, Kev?
No, listen. I think it's important to press any team in the Premier League. I mean, that's the style. We like to play a high line. Anybody who coaches out there or watches football knows football really well. Like if you're going to play a high line, you need to pin teams into their own half, and you need to press from the front. It's as simple as that. And to be fair to us, we do. You know, Sonny does it a lot, but you know, it ain't just about one player doing it. The whole team have to do it. And against Arsenal, I don't think they'll be able to deal with that high press if we're on it. If we let them play out a few times, then we're in trouble. But if we can keep them in, pin them in, I think at some point they're going to make a mistake. But when you're talking about Solanke and not just the press, I think what we're looking at Solanke for, which is going to be key for me, is that we like to get the ball out wide, and we like to whip balls in low. And I think he's just a bit nippier off a defender, getting in front of a defender, and for them 6-yard tap-ins. I'm looking forward to him poaching a lot of goals this year from wide areas as well, which I don't think we've got or not had for a long time. So I think he'll come alive in the box at certain moments and lose his defender. I think he's good in the air. Like I've said before, I think set pieces, I think he'd be great at for defending set pieces. But yeah, the press as well. I think once he gets going, Solanke, if we can get him going and he can live up to what he has been at Bournemouth, I think we've got a real player there. And yeah, if he fucking bags one Sunday, I'm going to go fucking mad. Can't wait.
And that's what we got to hope. Look, he's going to play on the last man. We've wanted that. He's going to make a nuisance of himself. He needs to do what I felt he did against us on New Year's Eve when he played for Bournemouth. He was brilliant on the last man. I know a lot of people sort of said he wasn't that good that day, but I think there's a lot that he did that can sometimes go unnoticed, but it makes a big point. And I felt at times, as dominant and comfortable we seemed at times, he made us just always have that hint of hesitancy when the ball was at Bournemouth's feet, especially because they can transition very quickly. So he's going to be a major asset.
He's got great feet for a big guy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, them tall players that have that ball control, they're weapons. They really are. There's not many out there these days that are big, quick as well, fast, compressed, quick. There's not many out there like him at the moment. So I'll be interested to see once he gets going of what he can actually do, in them situations.
Big time.
Toby Keeley as well. If we get behind Arsenal's fullbacks, if they go with Timber and Ben White, because we love to get into the byline and cutting it back, And if you look at Nld Solanke's goals at Bournemouth, a lot of them were from low crosses and getting in front of his marker and tackling him in the corner, So I'm looking forward to that. If we can get behind Arsenal's fullbacks and get to the byline, I feel Nld Solanke could have the better of like Gabriel and Saliba. I really do.
Brilliant. And I guess then a big question, because it is something that is still there. A lot of the second half of last season, it was said Tottenham set pieces, they're not organised. It showed at times that we conceded goals, especially against Arsenal at the Lane in April. Arsenal last year, I think were, if not first, they were in the top 2 of scoring most goals from set pieces. Brett Andrews says on the Instagram, set pieces, they're going to be dangerous like our players last year. How important is it that we are shored up on these? Because I think, this is a major asset for Arsenal, and we need to ensure that we neutralise it.
Well, taking Declan Rice out of the team takes a massive part of Arsenal's set pieces out, because he takes their corners from that side, doesn't he? And he whips in an absolute peach of a cross. So taking him out is massive. So not just all around the midfield and around the pitch, from their set piece threat as well. So you can only kind of look off now is Saka delivering him from that side. So we need to try and avoid that area of the pitch.
Yeah, I think. Go on, Kev.
Sorry, I was going to say it's definitely going to be our biggest test in terms of set pieces this year. I think in the first 3 games, haven't really seen this in much trouble as we was last year when it comes to that. So whether they've sorted out or not remains to be seen. But you'll find out against Arsenal when you've got big lumps like Saliba and Gabriel coming up for corners. This is why I think Solanke is important to get back in there for corners. But yeah, it was just organisation last year for me. I saw Maddison marking centre halves and stuff like that, and it was just like it's basics and that needs to be sorted. But yeah, like I said, it will be the toughest test yet in terms of set pieces straight away, because they are a good set piece side, Arsenal, especially from corners.
Yeah, I think, look, we have been better this season. I do personally think, and look, it's only 3 games. I do think we've been better. We look really good. That's the thing. I know we're coming off a defeat to Newcastle, but we had that chat on our last pod about how you can watch a game and actually be quite pleased with it, bar the result. Result is everything, of course. But in how we played the game, it was in a very positive light. So we can go out there and do that. I think there's still that hesitancy from a lot of the crowd. I mean, we've got THFC.46 on the Insta who says, the problem is everyone thinks we're going to batter them. I'm not so sure myself. They've still got good quality. I think we'd be silly to underestimate Arsenal. This is a team that have run Man City right to the wire the last 2 seasons. They've consistently improved, added to their team. They're a good side. Brett Andrews says that Timber is injured, he thinks. So let's hope that. I know that he had a little bit of a knock in the last game that they played against Brighton, but he seemed to, I don't know, did he finish the game? He might have come off, actually. But we look at, when we talk about set pieces, we talk about the goalkeeper and Vicario, and he got targeted in the second half of last season. The first game I remember it happening really was the Everton loss, where we dominated them at Goodison Park before losing late on. And then it happened about 2 or 3 times in quick succession where players were standing on him, targeting him. I felt, as we saw last year with Ben White, was being a right arsehole, but doing what opponents do, right? How key is it that Vicario keeps his head in that when we talk about these set pieces? Kev, what do you reckon?
Well, I think a lot of that leads now. Ben White can't really get away with that anymore, like they've kind of changed the rule on that now, haven't they? So if you're trying to obstruct, like for instance, the keeper's run or movement, then you'll be blown for a free kick. So I don't think Ben White will get away with the tactics what he did last season, that's for sure. And I think the ref will be on that with Ben White this season as well.
We've got to hope so, right? But Kev, are you confident with Vicario? He's a great keeper, but in games like this, he's got to keep his head. He's got to be organised. Are you thinking he's up to the task?
Yeah, my thing about Vicario isn't obviously last year it was to do that, getting bullied off the ball and stuff like that. But my thing with Vicario at the minute, listen, I think he's a great shot stopper, but there comes a time when you play out from the back, and we saw it in pre-season as well, and we've seen it in Leicester, I think it might have been, is that if there's not a pass on when you're playing out from the back, to give it to a centre-half in the 6-yard box with an attacker up his arse is criminal for me. So, listen, I know they're coached to play like that, but he worries me sometimes when he can't just go route one. And whether that's the coaching or not, whether he wants to go route one at times, that is the only thing that worries me about Vicario. And I'm sure Arsenal are going to press when he gets the ball back, and they're not going to let us out in certain moments of the games. And that's the only thing that worries me about Vicario is, can we just get rid of it? But no, he likes to play a pass, and an unsafe pass as well sometimes. But as a shot stopper, great goalkeeper. Corners thing, let's hope that's sorted. But yeah, the kicking thing for me is something that alarms me about him. And for me, that needs to be sorted straight away.
But also, Lee, going with corners, don't think it's massive. Dan Dogi's back now as well, because he wins a lot of headers.
Mate, he's set massive.
Pieces. Adding Solanke in as well, he'll come back and defend. Do you know what I mean, corners? I feel like now we kind of look a bit better defensively defending corners. We're not just relying on Ramiro and Van der Ven to clear our lines, you know?
Yeah, Matt, only 3 games though, mate. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know if we've played against a team that's going to really struggle, like hit us with set pieces. I think Newcastle might have had a bit of a go at it, but I mean, I think it's too early to say that we're out the woods when it comes to defending set pieces, not being bullied in the box. But one thing I've seen, what I mentioned earlier about mismatching and marking, that don't seem to have been a thing so far this season. I've seen the right players marking the right players at set pieces. Goalkeeper being looked after with a Spurs player in front of the keeper, which I like to see, where I felt that wasn't really happening last year. I think Dragusin done it once last year against somebody where he pushed someone out the fucking way. Might have been over at Palace, I think. But yeah, so that bit's good. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. We're in a good position. We are really in a good position. I wouldn't say that we're outright favourites. I think this is always going to be a tight game, and the bookies will show that in terms of how they're looking at it, in terms of their odds. It's always going to be close. When you think about the starting 11, we've kind of gone through it all. But Matt, if you had your 11 now, if you're playing it on champ, or if you're in charge, goalkeeper to forward, what is it?
Oh, if he was playing champ, he'd be sat by now.
I got sacked
3 games in this fucking max.
The last game on champ, boys. So this is what my managerial record's like. I won 2-0. I was near the bottom of the league. I thought it was just a blip, right? So I won 2-0, ready to bounce back. Before I knew it, I was sacked. Come to the news feed, I was sacked.
Mate.
But yeah, don't trust my judgment on players, mate. Nah. I would go for Vicario in goal, of course. You've got to go in Dogi, Van der Ven, Ramiro, and Porro.
Yep.
Bissouma, but he's having a late fitness test, isn't he? We come off for Mali. Right. He's the one that's unsure if he's going to be playing or not. Okay. But it would be Bissouma, Bentancur, and Maddison as my midfield 3. And it'd be Sonny, Solanke, Johnson as my front 3.
Kev,
and
similar,
you know what?
different.
The front 3 just smells of pace, like Arsenal. We're fearing Arsenal's pace. They're going to fear our pace as well.
Yeah. That's it. I agree with Matt. I think that lineup for me is bang on. I mean, I wanted Bentancur on in the Newcastle game a bit earlier. I just thought he was missing his sort of slickness and his flair a bit of knocking the ball around the corner and stuff like that. So I'll definitely play Bentancur. Listen, how much I love Papasau last year. I think he's had a bit of a sloppy start for me. So for me, Bentancur would definitely get the nod. I think it's his sort of game. If he can keep his head, it'd be great. But on the ball, I just think we just need that bit of arrogance on the ball. Bit of he reminds me of a Berbatov that plays in centre midfield. Bentancur when he's at it. He's not going to be electric and break with the ball, but he can find a pass. He's got great ball control. He can see a pass. He can knock one around the corner. He can find passes that other people can't. So for me, I'll definitely start him. And yeah, like Matt said, that front 3 it's all about pace, and it has to be. It has to be getting in behind the fullbacks, getting the ball across, and getting Solanke on the end of them. But yeah, that lineup, Fuck me, I'm actually agreeing with Matt. That lineup is spot on, actually.
Yeah,
Spot on.
it's interesting to look in the chat on the Instagram. Big up Matt Duffy Ascot. He says Madison's key for Sunday. We need a big performance from him. Big love to our big friend Yik Yak. Big love to his daughter who's 21 tomorrow. So happy birthday to Yik Yak's daughter. I hope this weekend is perfect in every way for your birthday and a Spurs win. Shawnee 2K, he says, evening boys, come on you Spurs. Thank you, Shawnee. Hello to Amy, Carly Bishop. That's in there. Ben Daniel, we've got tons in there that are on, and it's great. This is kind of what we're looking to do going forward, people. We're going to be across the different platforms. We're going to be on Facebook. We've got a YouTube channel now. We've also got our Instagram where we all started it. We're looking to evolve this into Twitter as well. But it's been a great way to talk about this. It's a great way for you to get involved and let us know what you're thinking. It's lovely to hear from you all, and really interesting because this is such an important game. It may only be game 4 of a season that's going to be very, very long, but it will say a lot about us. And I think, like you lot have said, the fact that we're playing with pace is really vital to me. I love Kulusevski. For me, would I play him? Possibly, but I'd want to start with Solanke. So I agree with you all in your selections. But now is the key moment. The key moment. We said it 2 weeks ago, but 2 weeks is a long time. I'll go to each of you. What is the score going to be? Matty, I'll start with you.
Mate, I'll stand by it, mate, and I'm going to go 2-3-1 Spurs. Flo is.
God.
I've got Flo a ticket. She's not lost watching Spurs yet, and about 15 games.
Yeah, she's a lucky owner, mate. She is.
This is now. It's make or break for Flo. You know, this is where it comes to reality. And she might not ever want to support Spurs again, or she'll just be the mascot forever. You know.
It's got to the point where I said to Matt and Flo's mum that if he ever can't take her, I'm taking her, especially in big games. we don't seem to lose when she's around, and I remember having that as a kid, and my dad's mates would always go like, "Where's Lucky Omen?" and me like, "I never brought him." They'd be like, oh, "Fucking hell, we're gonna lose today." So I actually believe that's an actual thing. So yeah, Flo is the sort of lucky omen. So if she's going, then I'll be putting Spurs down for a 3-1 win, I think.
3-1. Kevin, you feeling the same? Would you say the same scoreline?
Yeah, listen, I'm always, like I said to you last week on the pod, I'm always undecided in derby games. It's one of them ones you don't know until the game starts and you see where you are. But you know, with the 2 injuries, I'm going to be a fucking fool and say that I fancy us even more now, and still get the fucking ump if we don't win. But I think you can't look as a Spurs fan, you can't look past the Spurs win as it stands at the moment with the way the situation is. So yeah, I'm going to go all out there and say a 3-1 Spurs.
Come on, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think it might be a bit tighter, but I do think the Spurs win. I think 2-1. I think we're going to go 2-0 up. They're going to get one, and it'll be a bit backs to the wall towards the end, but we'll hold it out, and I think we're going to win. I'm excited and I'm nervous. I'm gutted that I'm not there. I'm bloody working, so I'm finding a pub somewhere. I will go live on Instagram, just Instagram after the game, straight away. So if you're watching it at home, if you can't make it to the game, if you're anywhere around the world watching, I will go live for a little bit. Win, lose or draw, I will go on. And if you've got any thoughts about it, I'd love to hear it, and we'll have a little chat about it. But yeah, I think like you, I'm thinking a Spurs win 2-1. And it's really interesting because on the Instagram there, Matt Duffy Escott was talking about the South Stand needing to play their part from the off. Now, we've said about this, you know, especially that Conte game. I think games under Pochettino for sure at the Old Lane. The crowd is important. Like, yeah, everyone needs to play their part in that ground, right? Is it something that we need to be there early? Have they got that big? What do they call it? The teeth? What's it called? What do they call that thing that used to travel across the cop? The big flag. Tifo. They got that. Like, how is it all playing out, and how key is it that there is noise?
I'll tell you what it is, Lee. For me, and we saw it last year when Arsenal come to town, and what I don't like is the atmosphere is great going into the game and the way it starts, but soon as something goes wrong in that derby in the first 5 minutes, whether it's a goal conceded or someone misplaces a back pass and you get someone in, the crowd go eerie. It goes quiet. And then and especially if you go 1-0 down, for me in the old White Lane, that never used to happen. When you go 1-0 down, you still fucking get behind them. And listen, I think that's to do with a sort of personality of people you got in there now, and it isn't as old school as it used to be. Obviously, you're catering for another 30,000 people, and them 30,000 people might not be like the 30,000 we had at White Lane in the old stadium.
Yeah.
But I think that needs to change. I think if we go 1-0 down, we need to fucking stick behind them, because you never know when this team's out. They've got so much fucking character, and I think you saw it with the Chelsea game last year, down to 9 men. They fucking give everything. So I don't think you can never know when Spurs are out of a game. But when you're 1-0 down or 2-0 down or whatever, that team will need that crowd. Once that crowd goes, fucking everything goes. And if you are that sort of supporter in there that wants to fuck off after 25 minutes and cunt them off as you're going down the stairs, fucking chuck your season ticket in the fucking toilet, because they're the sort of fans that we don't need in that new ground. It needs to be like the supporters in the old ground. So get fucking behind them, no matter what the score is. Don't care if fucking you think about getting your chick king early. Fucking stay in there to 90 minutes and fucking support them. And you never know. And you never know what'll happen. Do you know what I mean? I've made the mistake of leaving the odd game the other year, a few years back, and then we've come back and won, and I won't do it again. But at the moment, this team's got character, and I think you'll see how much character we've got in games like this against Chelsea's, Arsenal's, West Ham's. So fucking whatever happens in the first 10, 15 minutes, get behind them, stay there, fucking support them, sing your hearts out, enjoy yourself for the day. You paid a lot of money for your fucking ticket, so fucking enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Big time. Yeah, look, people were saying, go on, mate.
Kev said it last pod. When we go to the Emirates, Arsenal's atmosphere lives and they get over the line. They just somehow just beat us. We crumble, or they just end up getting over the line, snatching a late winner or something like that. I feel like we need to make that happen on Sunday. I feel like that crowd, everyone going there Sunday, needs to be right up for it and just make it so intimidating for Arsenal, you know, like don't let them just sing their stupid Arsenal song, and every time they sing, we take over and just take over there so we don't hear them, you know. And I think like just cheer every throw-in, every tackle, you know. The crowd need to be right up for it. And I guarantee it showed a lot of times last season, our team is much better when our crowd are behind them. If we're against them, you see a bit of a 4 or 5 out of 10 performance. But you've seen it when Sheffield United, Liverpool game last year, when we score late on and within seconds there's another goal coming. And I feel like that could happen on Sunday. I do think we have got two goals in the space of like a 10-minute window. And we have that against a lot of teams. It hasn't happened against Leicester and Newcastle, but we've pressed and created so many chances. And I think Sunday it clicks.
Yeah, let's hope so. And look,
quickly, I think with the way we attack, I don't think you can afford to leave the ground early or anything. I mean, like Matt's saying, this team can create chances out of anywhere with the pace that they play at and the forward players, defenders going forward. I mean, sometimes we see Romero, especially Romero, fucking on the opposition, fucking 18-yard box looking for a pass to play in. I mean, it's exciting football. We all bitch and moaned last year when Conte had it, and that shit it was. And don't get me wrong, it was fucking shit. So you've got something different now. So if we do go 1-0 down, like I said, fucking stay behind them, because you never know when this team's out, and they can create chances. They can score goals from anywhere they want, but it's just about sticking with them. And yeah, listen, like I said to you earlier in the pod last week, the crowd is massive. It's a massive part of a derby game as years have gone by and you've seen. So everyone fucking stick behind them. We're all proper Tottenham. Fucking, do you know what I mean? Just get behind the boys and see what happens.
That's massive, yeah. And everyone get each other, whoever you're around, get them singing in the ground. I mean, there's people like Yigak said if Spurs win, he promises to get Kev a beer as long as he pays. TJ's in the chat. Big love TJ. Yeah, he's on father duty this night. Love you, bruv. I look forward to hearing your experience when you're there. I know you'll be there on Sunday. Hello to F. Cornell, Yanni, who's going to the game. Enjoy it, Yanni. And everyone who's going, enjoy it. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be one of those atmospheres, especially coming off the international break. Sunday afternoon, 2:00. Perfect time for the game. Get in your pubs early. Get your grub early. Get in the ground early. And really don't stop singing. Don't stop singing. We really need to get behind the team. And I think as a preview, we've done well here, lads. I think it's been great to hear from everybody. This is the way that we're looking to go forward, guys, with our podcast. We'll obviously have the audio podcast, which is still available on Spotify, on Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, we've got them there. But we are looking to do live videos. So you will see us on Instagram Live. You will see us on Facebook, on our Instagram channels, on our Facebook channels, and on YouTube, which is a new thing for us. We'll be publicizing that more on everything. Hello to James Coops. We're all good, mate. Come on, you Spurs for you. But yeah, lads, get an early night. Get an early night tomorrow and all. Watch some clips.
Thing is, you can't sleep. Any Spurs fan will tell you.
No.
The only 2 times I have trouble sleeping the night before is when I'm getting up for an away day in the morning because I'm fucking excited, or Spurs and Arsenal. You literally just cannot sleep. So it's like I'll probably end up falling asleep at 4 or 5, and then fucking having an hour's kip, getting straight out at 7, 8 o'clock, having beef at breakfast, and then fucking straight down there. But
don't you want to go with Spurs?
I know what Kevin do.
No, I like the food cook, not fucking Mark Waveley.
Lee,
but listen.
What Kevin do? What Kevin do Sunday morning, right? Because I've been there with him, mate. He'll wake up about 6. He'll get ready and that. Come 7 o'clock, he's promising to take everyone beefeater and that, and he's pacing up and down the stairs, like through the corridor and that. To the point, Shell's like, Kev, just fuck off out. Just get out. And then that's it, he's out. By 8 o'clock, he's out the door.
Yeah, breakfast is cancelled. I'm in a Bill Nick for 9. But listen, I just want to say about this whole setup that we're doing. Like, I mean, I was one of them that, I mean, I'm so out of touch with all this sort of stuff, and always been sort of against, and probably held us back a bit of going on the YouTube stuff. But the way this format is and what I've seen tonight and people messaging in, I really think it's fucking smart. And for me, I've had to run in tonight. I've had to put a fucking top on. Got nothing underneath, sitting in my undercrackers. I thought I'd put a decent top.
Give us a 360 spin, Kev.
No chance, mate. Got me lucky Spurs underpants on. But listen, I think it's really good, and I think I really like the interaction with it all. So I think it's something we should definitely stick at.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the way forward, and we will be like this. As said, we'll be doing it in different facets, in different ways, and probably become a regular. But for the meantime, look, we're everywhere you want to see us. Get in touch. We love to hear from you today. Everyone who's been in touch, I'm looking through the messages, and everyone who's on the Instagram live, people that are looking through Facebook, people on YouTube. It's brilliant for us because, again, we're just like all the rest of you. We just want to get to the game, talk about it passionately. We don't claim to be the statisticians or whatever you may want to call them, the top pundits around the world, but we love our football. We love our club. So
TJ ain't bad, actually.
Yeah, TJ knows his stuff. That is very true. We look forward to having him back. But yeah, from us, from Matty, from Kev, from myself, have a good weekend. Have a great Sunday. Have a great, wherever you're watching the game, have a great day. And
all years get down to Bill Nick, but get down to Bill Nick for 10 o'clock. It'll be a good beer.
10 o'clock, right, there you go. Good beer in the Bill Nick. Make your ways around, and we will speak to you at the start of next week after North London Derby. Let's hope it's a positive one. But until then, we'll see you later. Come on, you Spurs.
Go on, you Spurs.